morning, campers. Let's do a reading. And this is going to be the last reading out of my 2025-2026 series. So I've done a same reading for all of my collectives when we review your 2025 to see what transpired, and we do 2026 guidance slash predictions. So if this is not your collective, I invite you to check the previous ones, because I believe I have 6 or 7 collectives at this point. So last collective, let's see. What was your 2025? Let's dive into your 2025 so you know that this is your collective, and so we can do as well a little review. What was going on in 2025? What? Hold on. One more. All right, hold on. I have to reorganize myself here a little bit. Okay, so we have compassion. That's your first card. Number 15, maybe number 15 is important. We have compassion. We have unworthiness. That's the shadow card that came through, number 83. And we have curiosity and grounded, 44 and 24. I feel looking at these cards that they quite sort of all over the place. So maybe it was a year that you've been a little bit all over the place. Many things has transpired. And with this compassion, I'm sensing a little bit compassion towards yourself, like especially with this unworthiness. So maybe last year you learned that you deserve compassion from yourself as well, that it's something maybe that you've always have to offer to other people, compassion, kindness, understanding, but maybe not so much towards yourself. That's what I'm hearing. So maybe this 2025 you realize that you are worthy to receive from yourself what you are offering to others, right? And I want to read through those first paragraph of unworthiness, because I feel like it could be important for this collective. Unworthiness is lack of unshakable and unconditional love to self, caused by distortion of our inner feminine, usually rooted in mother wound. Often subconscious, feeding behavioral patterns like avoidance, self-sabotage, procrastination, or destructive or numbing coping mechanisms and shallow distractions. Lack of deep self-worth make us feel like we don't deserve love, happiness, fulfillment, all abundance. We fall into a trap of constantly trying to earn and deserve external acceptance and validation to prove our worth. So maybe it's something that was on your mind in this year. Maybe you've realized that you've spent a good couple of years of your life, if not your entire life, feeling that you don't deserve to be truly happy, you don't deserve to be truly fulfilled, that I'm hearing life is what it is. Sometimes we have to deal with what is being served to us, and as much as it is true, it's not completely in that energy as you feeling it. And I always say this to you guys, every concept has 2 sides, and everything that someone says can have an element of truth in it, because life truly is about accepting what is, but not in this, that I always say this, and I love this saying, not in this energy of victim of fate, but master of destiny. Life is truly neutral, it is as we choose to look at it. If we choose to look at something as experience, opportunity of growth, and see a good side in it, find happiness and joy in life through the alchemy of creating these things within ourselves, it's a completely different experience. That just, it is what it is. I'm going to continue to be unhappy. But I feel there's something in this collective that you started treating yourself with a little bit more compassion, and feeling and remembering that you are worthy of good things. You're worthy of happiness. You're worthy of having dreams and hoping or planning even that these dreams will come true. We have this curiosity. I am curious to do tarot on top of that to clarify, but I feel like it's something that was maybe dormant within you. So maybe this last year you sort of have this newly found curiosity for life, for discovering certain things. So I feel like this collective, you may have been a little bit, I'm hearing, it's not necessarily dormant, but it's like numbed and just like on an automated pilot living life. And maybe something happened last year that you started to, feel like I want to live that life, I want to learn something new, I want to do something exciting, maybe go on an exciting trip. I'm looking at this world card. And we have grounded as well, which is interesting because it's the energy of sort of a connecting to Mother Earth, but also connecting, I'm hearing, to reason, right? So it's like they are showing me some sort of a cage, mental cage. Do you know this, a photograph or image, or these days, who knows, is it real or is it AI, that sort of circles around the internet? It's like this woman in a cage, but actually the cage is open, right? So I feel like it's like you've realized that you're not bound to your fate, that you can have choices, that you can make certain things different or maybe better through that curiosity to life. But also with that curiosity, I feel like they're showing me sensibility, or sense and sensibility. It's like you're a little bit between. There's a curiosity awakening within you, but you're remaining grounded and in reason. All right, let's dive deeper. 2025. 2025. We have 4 of inspiration. It's funny that I grabbed this deck because I feel into this card a little bit differently in this specific deck. I'll tell you why in a moment. 9 of inspiration. Whoop. 9 of Pentacles. Here he is, that reason, and 3 of inspiration. And it's funny because 3 of inspiration would be more of that curiosity sort of energy, whereas Knight of materials would be more of that grounded energy. And you have them in reverse, which is making me feel, they're showing me like this like intersection. Like there's this emoji, I feel like those 2 arrows going sort of like this. It's like you have your curiosity, but you're keeping your curiosity at bay with that reason, right? And then you have your reason, but you're firing this reason up with some action and with some change and with some ignition. It would make sense for the right collective if this is truly your energy and truly your collective. We have the Devil at the bottom of the deck, which is your shadows, things that you're blinded to, things that you're not seeing, things that you're not acknowledging. So this is what I'm hearing with these cards. This Four of Inspiration, Four of Inspiration is about, foundation, structure, celebration. It can be about many things. It's this energy of foundation, stability, building something, celebration, life as well. But in this specific deck, because it's for women, sort of forming that community, what came to my mind is that I feel this collective, you are this person that you're always there for other people, right? So whatever a friend has an issue, whether that's with like a boyfriend or a family member or whatever that is, you're there in the middle of the night with a bucket of ice cream, right? Or wine. And you're always ready to listen and to help. You're that friend that when someone is sick, you make soups, and it's like you love helping people. You love being there for people. But I feel that maybe in process, and it's a common thing, and it's a common wound in so many people. You guys would be surprised how often I see that people just don't know how to receive, just don't know how to, but it's the worthiness. It's the worthiness, it's the mother wound. I don't know how to receive. I don't know how to have someone help me, hold space for me. And this is why many of you guys come across spiritual teachers like myself, because the role of a spiritual teacher, I always say this to you guys, the cord that goes from me to you is a one-way cord. It's a one-way street, right? And obviously, I being a spiritual teacher that has a small business, you sign up for actual sessions, and we get gratification for these sessions. But you guys know that once you come to me, if you've ever been on session with me, you know that I'm always available for you in between the sessions. I hold that sacred space for you. I hold that vulnerable space for you. And there's nothing that has to be given in return. You don't have to make it up to me. You don't have to make it up to the universe that he sends you me. It's part of our soul contract. And oftentimes, through this healing process, people who have issues with receiving learn that, and you have to, it's such an important part of a healing journey, because no one will ever be able to give you anything if you don't properly know how to receive. If you constantly want to give something back, or right, and it's a quid pro quo kind of a thing. And I always teach you guys as well that when we talk about karma, whether that's positive or negative karma that we create, it doesn't always come back to us in the same moment from the same person. I may do something for you because this is my life's path, and then you may do something for someone else, and that person will repay that, but to someone else. We're all wholeness, we're all one, we're all one supreme consciousness, we're all the universe, right? It doesn't matter. You're going to receive help exactly where you need it and from who you need it, if you're willing to receive that help. But I feel I feel like you're that person that you're always there for other people, but not necessarily know how to receive. And I feel like maybe last year you've come into that realization that maybe you even know that it comes from worthiness wound. And I always say it, worthiness wound is always rooted in the mother wound, because it is the divine feminine energy that is supposed to teach us unconditional love towards ourselves, our worth, our unconditional worth, right? So maybe you've realized these things. I feel like there is some sort of an exhaustion in your energy, that you have to do it on your own. But maybe you've realized that you can ask others for help, that you can ask others for support. I was even hearing that maybe you already have some sort of a friends that support you, that are there for you, female friends. If you're a man watching, men friends, a sort of a community, you know what I mean, like a same, right? There is some sort of an understanding between people, confirmation in the same gender. We're equals, but we're completely different energies, right? The sisterhood is a very, very beautiful thing. So I am sensing that in this energy. So, sorry, I'm sort of talking slow. Maybe that is your energy. Maybe you are a little bit tired with certain things, a little bit tired with life, a little bit. It's like you need someone to hold you. You need that support. That there is this Nine of Inspiration is a bit of that wounded warrior, that exhausted warrior kind of energy, that I cannot make it on my own. I cannot do this anymore. There's a bit of a cry for help. So maybe it's something that you discovered last year. Maybe you even started like healing session with a healer or a therapist, or for now you have that support group with a friend or a couple of friends that you can always share your struggles and your secrets as well, so they can finally be there for you. But it's funny with that curiosity and ground, that I feel like that overlap, right? That is something within you that is like wanting to break free, but that reason is right. But the reason is it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's see. Let's pull 4 of these, and then we're gonna do animals cards. 2025. 2025. What else happened? Embrace the unknown. Divination. That's interesting. So maybe you even went on on a healing session last year. Crown chakra. And we have declutter. And we have declutter. I was expecting, to be honest, sort of a more wounds and more heavy things. There are some heavy things in this deck, but I'm hearing now that you're not yet ready for those kind of things. It was a different vibe for this year, for this person, for this collective. We have number 74, embrace the unknown. So maybe there is an element when it comes to 2025 that you realize that there are certain things that we cannot plan, that we cannot know how things will develop in life, right? And we just have to sometimes go with it and go with the flow. It is what it is. I am hearing with this collective, it is what it is. It's just that, again, as every concept, it is what it is, as well has two sides of the coins. And I do not want you to go towards it is what it is, victim of fate, I cannot do anything about it. I want you to go towards it is what it is. I accept what is, because I understand that there's a lesson in it. And through learning that lesson, I become the master of my destiny. And I change and evolve in this what is into something better. Right? We have divination, which is making me feel that maybe you went on a session. It would be a detail, to be honest, for this collective. So don't make these details fit. I feel in 2025, it may be that you started reading collective readings, that you discovered sort of a tarot. I always say this to you guys, that collectives are a beautiful thing, but collectives are not for you to really deeply heal, okay? Again, I'm going to repeat this because it's important maybe for this collective. Collective readings like this one, they are to get to know your reader, right? Because sometimes we need that safe time spent with our healer when they're not exactly touching our energy, but they activating something, right? And I get that. Sometimes people, before they come to me on session, they watch me for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, right? To really find the courage. And this is why we do collectives, to show you what kind of a healer I am. How do I read? Get to know your healer. I always say this to you guys, prepare for that session, right? And second reason is that we, if you are someone who comes on sessions, in between sessions, you can get a little bit of guidance. There's always universal wisdom, if properly done, because there's a lot of charlatans out there that only feed fear and illusions. Yes, love is coming and that kind of nonsense, but in a good collective, there's always a dose of wisdom and secrets and meaning of life and those kind of a thing, and learning and growth and spiritual growth. So it would be detailed for this collective that 2025 you discovered divination as a sacred ancestral tool that spiritual teachers, psychic mediums, channels use to help you guys grow and expand. And it may be a detail as well for some of you that you actually went on a session, that you actually had a psychic session to help you in your situation in a moment of struggle. And that I will say it, if you watch me, be careful, because there's a lot of charlatans in there. The meaning of divination is not to tell you what will come, but is to guide you, is to help you understand the lesson that you're currently sitting at, the pattern, and how you can grow, how you can expand. There's an element of what's coming in it, right? But ultimately the choice is yours. The future is not predetermined. We have crown chakra. That's on top of that curiosity. Crown chakra is something that opens us up to the Father Universe, connects us to something greater, something bigger. So maybe you had a little activation that made you curious, maybe even through that divination, that there's something more. Maybe you started analyzing your life through the prism of, life lessons and karmic lessons, who this person is for me, why am I going through whatever is it that I'm going through, right? So a bit of an activation, which is beautiful. And we have declutter, and that's on top of that grounded and that inspiration. What declutter energy is something that we must do periodically, right? It's not just the physical declutter, but energetic declutter. Removal of things that are no longer serving us as we grow and as we progress on our journey, right? So I want to kind of read through this card to you. It's time for major declutter. This cleansing and liberating process is non-negotiable part of death and rebirth. It's necessary for growth. What is not needed, not used, or out of alignment with our path carries negative, low vibrational energy. Your guides are asking you to look at your life, your physical space, people around you, your thoughts, behaviors, patterns, everything that is part of your life, and ask yourself bluntly, what is no longer serving? What have I outgrown? What will not be needed? Where I'm going? You are being asked to make space in your life for new incoming energy. And I was really focusing when I read that, and my attention went to that pattern. So we go back to that worthiness. I feel you've realized last year that lack of worthiness, not being able to ask for help, always being the giver, right, is not serving you. And it's something that you have to work through, right? It's important. You would realize that. But I feel you also realize that there are things, situations, people, something in your surroundings that are no longer serving. And when it comes to this decluttering, number 34, maybe you are 34 or you live under 34, it came to my mind. You approach this with this combination of grounded, but free of wands, free of inspiration. This is action. This is ignition. This is wanting to do things. This is really embarking already on a new journey. This is way beyond planning. This is already taking initiative, right? But because we have this grounded here as well, I think that you're combining that sensibility and the fire with that reason and that grounded energy. So it's like you want to remove certain things from your life. You want to take action. You decided that 2025 that it's time for action, but you want to do it with reason. That's what I'm hearing. You want to do it with strategy. You don't want to act recklessly. There is something within you that is, awakening to do certain things like chop, right? But let's do animals cards as well. 2025. Fox. I love the fox. Fox is amazing. Fox and the otter are my favorite cards in this deck. Fox is such a beautiful energy. Fox is a giver. Fox is a giver, is a teacher, is the one that is there for others, is the one that is loyal, is the one that truly beautiful energy. And I feel like you are that for others. The giver. Should we read for the fox? Maybe there's some hidden messages that I'm guided to read through. It's your first card. Beautiful energy. Let's see the fox. Smart, strong partner or mate, wise teacher. I feel like you're a good partner, whether it's a partner in a relationship, whether it's a friend. You would be someone who is loyal and reliable. You're not someone who abandons people, who and it's beautiful, but only if the other side of the coin is that you expect same in return. You expect reciprocity, and you accept and take that and receive that. The fox is an enchanting creature with plenty of mystique to go around. Fox personalities are skillful in business and also make great teachers. They are quick to learn and adapt well to new situations. Foxes are ideal life partners as they commit to relationships for the long term, and their natural charisma keeps things exciting. Fox energy helps us stay true to those most dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those who you love. Foxes don't do well when they slip away. And this is this connection. So it's a good thing that you're connecting to people right now, that you're connecting to friends, that you're connecting to people that make you feel a little bit good. Even if it is that you're helping them and you're advising them, but they're in your energy, they're making you feel good. You're creating those bonds. But it's exactly what I said. A lawyer for life. people who are, that ride or die and givers. More than anything, the fox is a giver. And worthiness. What? We have 2? We have 3. That's all right. I kind of don't want to take these. Hold on. Too many. Sorry. Too many. I'm guided to do it like one by one. The beam. You see, it's like, it's beautiful energy, but it's out of balance. That's why I always say to you guys that everything has 2 sort of a sides of a story, 2 coins, right? You have beautiful qualities, but it's like you're overworking yourself. You're overgiving. You're only giving. You're not asking anything in return. And here's the thing, and this is when people create complete misconception, and I always try to explain this to you. True unconditional love, especially when we talk about divine feminine energy, right? When we are in our divinity, us feminines, we love and we know nothing in return. Our love has no limits and asks for nothing. However, that love exists in the 5D. It's a vibration of love. It's a love that we send as a spiritual guidance, as a spiritual protection towards someone. Now, if that person, especially men, in the physical, without us asking, because true love doesn't ask for anything, without us asking, loves us back, and with maturity and in his divinity gives us things that a man is supposed to give to a woman, which is as well loyalty, protection, devotion, right? We allow him in our life, and we allow him to ground that love into physical existence, creating a true union and true yin-yang. But the fact that you love someone truly, madly, deeply, unconditionally, but they treat you like garbage, part of being true divine feminine is having your standards here. So I'm not going to ask you for nothing. I ain't going to ask you for anything. But if you are not deciding to give me what is my standards, because I know who I am, because I don't have issues with worthiness, I know what I bring to the table, I will allow you into my life. But if you don't, unfortunately, I will love you from far, right? So it's like you think that true love is giving, which is true. But if you're giving it to a place or a person that it's not being reciprocated, your job is to take it and put it someplace else. And those people, love them from far, love them in 5D. But it's also good because that B, on top of that worthiness, I feel like you want to work on it. I feel like you want to put, B is about putting in effort. It's about working, it's about, right? You would want to, I feel you've decided this year that you want to fix that issue, that you want to dive deeper into that issue. We have black egg. That's throat chakra. I feel there is some sort of a breakthrough in your energy that happened 2025, that maybe you started speaking a little bit more your truth, and even if it is just to yourself, but I think it's not just to yourself, that sometimes you started just saying, I don't like that, I don't want that, I don't want to do that, right? Standing up for yourself. Too many again. Hold on, something flipped. Panther, okay. That's nice. Panther is what? What's going on? I keep seeing this hawk. Hawk is perception, seeing things differently. Backbone, building your backbone, yes. But we have the panther. I kind of want to read through this panther too. Panther is about purging, is about releasing what's not serving, and that's on top of that declutter, which is very powerful. I think you already started taking some sort of actions, but I feel like more what I'm hearing is that this 2025 was a decision, because it's your last column, right? It's the last part. Like, you've taken a decision. It's like you've been preparing, they've been grooming you. It's the things been brewing in the air for the first like 3 quarters of that year. And at the end of this year now, I feel like certain things happen that you're like, no, I have to get rid of certain things, I have to remove certain things, at the minimum my own patterns, right? At the minimum